taking pictures?
Max. On and max, those are set pilot, or set go. CG, relaxing yoke. Sure. Cool.
22 A-firm, that's no problem if you could start reducing speed.
I should have been more specific.
Sorry.
Just next time, call it out and be specific.